Another very quick update on the postseason of Big Brother 24. Can't lie, it's getting harder and harder to care, but there are still some things I'd like to talk about at least for the next couple of weeks, probably. Right now, Terrence is liking negative tweets about Taylor and her mother, and that's causing people to go after Terrence. And Kyle and Alyssa stands, what little that they are of that showman's trying to show out on Twitter, so that's getting Kyle and Alyssa attacked. And honestly, this is good. Maybe the focus will get off of Monte for a while. He got his hate for a while that he deserved, that he brought on himself. Now others in the cast are getting it like they deserve. I just want everyone to get it fairly. Just fairly split it with everybody. There's enough disdain for this cast to go around for everyone. Now, we're going to talk about Brittany here in a while, because anyone that's watched any of my videos this season knows I don't like that thing at all. But first, let's talk about Taylor's tweet from yesterday real quick, talking about the Jaylor stands, honestly, and the Jaylor ship. Taylor saying, Joseph is an amazing person, and I love the Jaylor stands down. But I hope everyone can still see me as an individual who ever overcame unbelievable odds to achieve a monumental accomplishment for the Big Brother franchise. I am not defined by my adjacency to a man. Now, I personally think Taylor's a little late in stating this because she let a week go by where her entire brand was attached to Joseph, Jaylor. But I'm glad she's finally saying this. This is what I've been saying for 2 weeks now, honestly. I feel like when it comes to the Jaylor stands being the loudest in this fandom, and both Taylor and Joseph hitching themselves to this standship or whatever, it was completely taking away from the fact that Taylor played this amazing comeback victory, the first black woman to win Big Brother other than Tamar in Celebrity Big Brother. And it's funny, when I pointed this out, when others on Twitter pointed this out, it's attacked by the Jaylor stands, which shows you all that they actually cared about. It's what I've been saying this whole time. It takes away from Taylor, and I'm glad Taylor is finally understanding this, especially if Taylor and Joseph aren't even that real yet, which I don't think they are. They continue to say that they are just taking it slow, taking it day by day. And as they should. That's how they should handle this as adults. Stans on Twitter cannot handle anything as adults. But this needed to be stated by Taylor, and I think it was the right way to go from her. I still find the war going on online between the Joseph Stans and the Monte Defenders, and there's not a whole lot of Monte Defenders. Something I will say once again, Monte brought on himself. He couldn't, his ego and his stubbornness couldn't come up with apologies. So he doesn't really have a lot of defenders, but he does have some, and I feel like they're grasping at straws, making things up, trying to defend the man. And I don't think that's going over well. But I do think a lot of it comes from the fact that Joseph is also doing the most when it comes to this. People are calling Joseph out for trying to get clout from Taylor, which is what it kind of does look like. I had a comment, a couple of different comments. One saying that the Jaylor relationship looks performative and that there's too many people in Taylor's ear. And another comment saying that Joseph is clearly an opportunist and not a friend. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this exactly, because do I think that Joseph is a bad dude? I don't think that at all. I honestly don't. I can't lie that his family kind of gets on my nerves. They all, as a unit, as a family, feel like they are trying to get clout. It's felt that way the entire season on social media from them. So I can understand how it looks, how they're all trying to get clout off of Taylor. But I like to think that Joseph actually does want to be friends with Taylor. And I think that they could have a good friendship. I still don't buy the relationship ever coming to anything too huge. But I could be wrong on that as well. But I do think Joseph is acting a little fake. There was some lives, Taylor and Joseph have been watching the episodes, and Joseph trying to say that when Daniel was yelling at Taylor, and when nobody defended her in that situation, he's saying he was in the bathroom and that he didn't hear everything, but he did hear part of the fight, and he did hear the later argument as well. So I don't know why Joseph is trying to act even more as a white knight than he actually was, because honestly, in the game, Joseph did do a lot of protecting of Taylor. He did have Taylor's back a lot. He did try and make Taylor's life in that house better. He did do that. So I don't think he needs to overcompensate and lie about things like that's the reason he didn't get involved to protect Taylor. No, he just failed as an ally in that situation, just like everybody else in the house did. That's exactly what happened. Joseph never had smoke for anyone in that game. All of his goodbye messages were nice. When everybody was going out the door, he was nice. People can say that's game or whatever, but I think in this situation, he's trying to do the most, acting like a white knight when he really wasn't in that situation. But then Monte fans are out here trying to pretend like Monte was a bigger part in starting the leftovers than Joseph, which is utterly ridiculous. They're trying to say Kyle and Monte are the two that were responsible for the leftovers, when it was always clearly Kyle and Joseph. Kyle had a lot of the information to get it started, and Joseph had the target, and that is how it all came together with the leftovers. Monte was just a part of it all. Of the three, Kyle, Joseph, and Monte, Monte is by far the least responsible for the leftovers. So now Monte Defenders also trying to overcompensate for Monte. I can't deal with it, honestly. The stan wars, and Monte doesn't even have that many stans, but there's a lot trying to pretend like Monte was better in this game than he was. There's also a lot of Joseph stans trying to pretend that Joseph was better for Taylor's game than he actually was. Joseph went around talking a lot of shit about Taylor during the game, and even Taylor acknowledged during the game that when Joseph was eliminated, it actually helped her game. She knows this. We all know this. Lastly, Brittany's out here ready to grift, starting up her hypnosis business again. And I'm not going to sit here and say hypnosis isn't not legit, because, you know, some experts will tell you that hypnosis is very legit. But it's hard to take a person who you've seen 24/7 in this game spiral 24/7, have this loser mentality, and that's the kind of psychologist, psychiatrist you want to go to. I don't know about that. And Brittany is also now lying about how negative she talked shit about Taylor. There was that situation when she talked about how Taylor sitting on the bed as HOH was like her in a power position, and how she shouldn't do that, even though she had no problem with Michael doing that when he was HOH. Brittany's trying to say she was talking about herself. She went into the game thinking if she ever won HOH, she didn't want to sit in that power position. It was some sort of psychology from her. She's saying, I don't recall the conversation, but I must have been talking about the sitting on the bed aspect of my strategy, and people thought I was saying that Taylor shouldn't have done that. No, Brittany was 100% clearly talking about Taylor in that situation. And I get that Taylor's now good friends with Brittany. They still talk every day. It's definitely a flaw in Taylor's character that she can be so easily manipulated by white women and their tears. But that does not make me ever want to get off of Brittany's neck, and I never will. And I still feel like Brittany is not telling the whole truth here. She's trying to sweep it under the rug. Brittany was very problematic in this game. Brittany was super problematic. Very high Karen energy. Taylor can be friends with that all she wants. But Taylor has yet, like we talked about in the last video, Taylor has yet to actually have some time to herself to reflect. She's been hanging around Joseph for weeks now, and then she wonders why the Jaylor stands are so strong in the fandom, instead of, you know, her helping her own brand. But I'm glad she finally came to that conclusion. I wish she would come to that conclusion about Brittany, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But never ever will I not call out Brittany when she deserves it. Well, actually, I'm probably going to be over talking about this cast extremely soon. But for now, when I'm still making videos about this cast, you know, Brittany will be held responsible.